Comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. Hang murderers. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como ye. God save the Queen.
Broadcasting live from ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. Welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm a Justice of the Peace here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And of course, I'm a member of the local Catholic Christian community. We are also broadcasting live on 105.3 FM, The Beat. It is the nation's newest radio station. I had a wonderful day as Negro citizens throughout the island of New Providence greeted me and told me how good 105.3 FM, The Beat radio songs, and how they can hear us all over the island. So that is what I call good progress. Well, folks, today I have in my possession a copy of Ernst & Young bogus audit report into the Water and Sewerage Corporation. I call it bogus because Ernst & Young, which is an international company, appears on the face of my examination of the audit report after consultation with experts in the field that they have not followed a proper protocol and that they have been used by the F&M to create political mischief. So we're going to examine that to see to what extent we ought to condemn Ernst & Young. And then, of course, we look at what decent Loretta Butler Turner told the Tribune yesterday as it relates to Oban's Energy. I'll also talk about the Christian Council. I won't spend too much time on them today, but I will also talk about them. And I, Chester Cooper, the deputy leader of the Progressive Liberal Party, gave a wonderful speech as he took the F&M to task over that fraudulent company, Oban's Energy. So there's some of the things that are on my mind. And I must confess that I have been having visions. I now have a new vision where I see a new Bahamas Christian Council. A Christian Council that is not comprised of pastors who are constantly agitating for Crown land, who are constantly agitating for government contracts, pastors who have gone a whoring after economic prosperity. So, in my vision, I see a national Christian council with more saved men and women leading that. I had a vision last night, and in my vision, I heard a voice shouting, we need a national Christian council, independent of a Christian council that has gone a whoring after strange gods an economic contract. I'll be right back after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. My spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, is not yet in studio, so I'm going to look at the Roman Catholic Missal celebrating the Eucharist. Today's date is March the 8th. So if you would bear with me, let us see what today's scripture says. Come, let us sing joyfully to the Lord. Let us acclaim the rock of our salvation. Let us come into his presence with thanksgiving. Let us joyfully sing psalms to him. Come, let us bow down in worship. Let us kneel before the Lord who made us, for he is our God, and we are the people he shepherds, he flock, he guides. Oh, that today you would hear his voice. Had not your hearts as at Meribah, as in the day of Massah, in the desert, where your fathers tempted me. No, that's bad reading. As in the day of Massah in the desert, where your fathers tempted me. They tested me, though they had seen my works. Well, it's coming from celebrating the Eucharist. Well, folks, there is an interesting article that first started out on social media, where apparently someone saw a Negro man harvesting a turtle. He, as is required, killed the turtle for food. For over 150 years, we, the majority of the inhabitants here in the Bahamas, we have fished our sea. We caught fish, a variety of fish, and we caught turtle, and we killed the turtle, and we ate it. Then one day, a group of foreign white people petitioned the F&M government and told the F&M government it was inhumane for us, the majority of the people, to kill turtle and eat it. The F&M, who is never pro-Bahamian, passed into law some legislation designed to prevent us from harvesting the turtle and killing the turtle and stewing the turtle. But prior to that, we eat turtle. Now, I will confess that I never ate turtle because as a student, they taught me that turtle was a reptile and that turtle and snake were first cousin. That's what they teach me when I was in school. I don't know if it's true, but they taught me, and I developed a prejudice towards the turtle. But there are thousands of Bahamians who do eat turtle. So someone put on Facebook, and the next thing we know, people call on the police to hunt down those who were responsible for killing the turtle. I want to show you what kind of country this is. All right? I want to show you how they love the animal more than they love people. How they love animals more than they love the Negro people. So I've gone to the Tribune to read this story because I have been disturbed over the fact that the government has passed into law legislation designed to prevent Bahamians from harvesting turtle. And I say we have to stand up towards it, and those who love turtle meat should march on the government and demand that we be allowed to kill the turtle and eat it. So I'll read the article because I want to show you how they love animals more than they love black people. Police have arrested 3 people, 2 men and a woman, in connection with the brutal killing of a loggerhead turtle on Grand Bahama. A video of the turtle's death went viral on social media, sparking outrage from animal activists and calls for a Royal Bahamas Police Force investigation. The 41-second video shows a man repeatedly crushing the turtle's head with a hammer while the animal tries to escape. The Royal Bahamas Police Force said officers in West End arrested the 3 suspects for breach of the Fisheries Act. Reports are that on Wednesday, March 7, shortly after 8 a.m., police received a complaint of a video circulating on social media with the capture of a loggerhead turtle, which is an endangered species, a statement from police said. As a result, officers of the West End Division arrested 3 persons in connection with this matter, 2 males and a female. Officers also retrieved 11 bags of turtle meat and 1 turtle shell. The suspects will be arraigned in the magistrate court in 8 Mile Rock later this week, police said. The Royal Bahamas Police Force also issued a strong warning to the community that anyone in breach of the Fisheries Act will be arrested and taken before court. Acting Director of Marine Resources, Edison Delaveau, told the Tribune that one of the men arrested was a fisherman and the person seen slaughtering the turtle in the video. The other 2 individuals were associated with a restaurant. He said, the Bahamas National Trust also released a statement on its Facebook page regarding the incident. We have seen the distressful video of the illegal killing of a loggerhead turtle on Grand Bahama. We are relieved to say that arrests have been made and the offenders are now in police custody. Thank you all for your concerns and making sure your voices were heard. On Wednesday morning, 1 team of officers proceeded to West End, where the man seen in the video killing the turtle was arrested. He was then taken to the business establishment in Freeport, where the turtle was killed. Here, another team of officers had already searched the establishment and found turtle meat in the freezer and on the floor. Additionally, the shell of the turtle was found behind the establishment. The owners of the establishment were also arrested and along with the West End resident are being charged with possession, sales, and purchase of turtle. Turtles have been protected in the Bahamas since 2009, he said. Activist Sam Duncombe told the Tribune she was encouraged to see Bahamians condemning the brutal and illegal act. I am devastated for the poor turtle. What a horrific end. If only Bahamians would rise to the occasion for all the issues we face. Together we can make a huge difference, she said. So we hear from Sam Duncombe. Black people are being murdered and slaughtered every day. But Sam Duncombe ain't concerned of the fact that a human being is being murdered. Chicken, fish, goat, grouper, lobster are being killed every day for consumption. You see how stupid these people are? And you see how stupid the F&M government was in 2009 when they decided that they would outlaw one of the Bahamians' most delicious delicacy, namely the turtle. They don't like black people. They firebomb me. The police have all the evidence of those who firebomb me. But it is politically convenient for the police not to do for the turtle or do for me what they did for the turtle. Within minutes, they, having the identical evidence as the title has, they were able to arrest 3 Negroes, and now they're about to charge them. But on the 2nd of December, 2016, Negroes gangster fire bombing. And when Hubert Ingram saw the evidence, he said to me that this is an easy one for the police to solve. And when the Minister of National Security, Marvin Dames, saw the evidence, Marvin Dames personally told me this one is an easy one for the police to solve. But they like the title more than they love human beings. So Marvin has the title Killing Solved. Poor Negroes, they may be charged with murdering a title. I say any animal that man can consume, man has a right to kill and eat. I think it's stupid. I think it's stupid. There's nothing that prevents a law that says that a certain period, a certain time of the year, you don't catch the grouper or you don't catch the title. But to completely outlaw the harvesting and the eating of title meat is a national disgrace. Cursed be the day when these Negroes, sons of slaves, took over this country. They certainly wasn't ready for nation building and governing their Negro selves. I just thought I had to say it, because they could find all the police to go in West End, say they catching people for killing the title. Huh? And ain't nothing to the National Trust. Take it from me. It's nothing to them. Their issues are selective. And it all depends on who is making a financial contribution to them. Don't forget, the man who got the helicopter in the Exumas, you must give them $1 million. And as he unlawfully cut into the Sea Garden, the National Trust, like an ostrich, pushed their head in the sand. We're in trouble. We are in trouble. So I thought I'll tell you about that. Well, what else is happening? I see my spiritual advisor is here with me, and I hope my producer is doing his job. Bradley Roll, my spiritual advisor, praise the Lord. You are here with me. Welcome to Freedom House.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Monica. Forgive me. I just was finishing up some lunch.
This is powerful.
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Monica, and pleasant good afternoon to the Bahamas. It's a pleasure to be with you here on Freedom March. You're always kicking up a storm, Mr. Monica, every day.
Well, my spiritual advisor, before you came in, I revealed to the country how there was this video on social media showing a Negro man harvesting a turtle.
Oh, I saw that.
And killing the turtle. How else do you...
That's terrible, eh?
You have to kill the animal.
Oh,
they
man.
kill chicken every day.
I saw him took that sledge thing and he
Stop
was
being...
just beating that
My
thing on
spiritual
the head.
advisor.
Oh.
What, have you ever studied agricultural
I thought
science?
that was so cruel, Mr.
Have
Monica.
you ever studied agricultural science?
Yes, for sure.
One
yes,
of the things that you learn in agricultural science is you do not become attached to the animal. You do not pet the chicken.
Yeah.
You do not pet the pig or the goat or the sheep or the cow.
Yeah.
If you pet those animals,
We got to eat them, eh?
then you will never be able to slaughter them.
Yeah.
You have to bash its head and kill it.
Man.
All right?
I saw the process of killing a hog, right? And when I saw that, I said, boy, you know something? I don't want to see nothing like that again.
Come, you have a soft heart. In Black Village, we've been killing hogs for years.
That's cruel.
Mr. Panzer, right? To make sure that the hog meat is tender. Mr. Panzer, Mr. Gordon, Mr. LaFleur, and Mr. Forbes. They would hold that boar hog down, and Mr. Panzer would get the knife and slit the pig testicle. And when he cut his testicle, he cut out the balls, and then he pack it with nice salt. All right? And the hog holler. All right? I could be in Auntie Visa yard
Oh,
around
my
the corner.
God.
And when I hear that hog holler, I would turn to Mariah and say, listen, the same moment, Mr. Panzer, Mr. Forbes, and Mr. LaFleur, they must be cutting out the balls of that hog.
Yeah, you don't have to be that graphic, okay? Don't forget, you have kids that are listening to your program
There's
as well.
nothing graphic. I'm giving you
Yes,
what
but-
the men did.
Yeah, I understand that.
Testicles. Stop.
Yeah, okay, so use that term then.
You are making it sound indecent. A balls is a balls. There's nothing indecent.
But the scientific
All right?
term is, you know, let's use the word testicles. Anyhow,
You wanna use
for the
testicles.
sake of this
All
argument,
right?
though, you realize what had happened in this case. This loggerhead turtle, I understand, it's an endangered species.
Yes.
So it's against the law, Mr. Montreal.
Yeah, I accept that.
Yeah.
But
So what's your argument, though?
my argument was that in 2009, the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram was wrong to listen to them white people who told him to make the title unlawful when he knew.
What was the reason for it?
They don't
there has
want
be a
us to
reason.
eat title.
I don't know if that's the case. I
Listen
think
to
they're
me.
saying they're trying to preserve
Listen to
this
me.
species of turtle.
Listen to me. They want to preserve the grouper, right?
Yeah.
But what have we done? We came up with a law that says that during a certain
Season.
period of
Yes,
time,
I was going to suggest that. Yes.
and the same thing
I
should
agree.
have been applicable.
I agree, Mr. Monica.
But Papa, listen
I
to them
agree.
County Joe people
I
and them
agree.
foreign white people who always get in our business. Now, as a result of that, when you catch your title, you gotta hide to kill the title and eat the title. When Mr. Ingram should have met the Negro people halfway and say to the County Joe, listen, we're gonna have conservation, and the way we're gonna do it is there will be a period when it will be off limit. All right?
Yeah.
The people should not be prevented from eating title.
And, you know, the thing that I find to be so amazing, I guess, let me just hurry up say this. When Peter had that vision on the rooftop in Acts chapter 10, when he saw that sheet being let down from heaven, and in the sheet was all sort of reptiles and four-footed beasts, and the voice came to Peter, says, arise, kill, and eat.
Yes.
So, I mean, the Bible doesn't condemn eating certain foods, but I think man just says that certain things are almost depleted, and we want to try to preserve them.
The problem in the Bahamas is that the will of the majority is not being adhered to. When the FNM is in power, just watch the FNM. They listen to special interests.
They got to be white?
All right? Principally white. It's white people who don't want us to eat the title. Mama them been cooking title for years.
I never had turtle before.
I don't like
I
title
don't know how it
either.
tastes.
But if I used to eat title, I would kill my title and cook my title and eat my title. But I don't eat title. All right? Those who eat title, it's time to demand from the government the right to kill it and eat it. This is Freedom March. Be right back after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. Expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on 103.5 FM, The Beat. It's the newest radios in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And of course, we are also broadcasting live on ILTV Studios TV. You can see us on Cable 224 and Flow TV 112. And of course, we are streaming on Facebook. You need only go to ILTV Studios Facebook page and join us here on the program Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor. Well, I am certain that you newsmongers, those of you who are PLP haters, I am sure that you would have seen the Nassau Guardian, where on its front page, the Water and Sewerage audit revealed Davis & Co. secretary, suspected part owner of company given contract. So that's the headline. And the Nassau Guardian would have come up with the headline based on the fact that the executive chairman of the Water and Sewerage Corporation, the Honorable Adrian Gibson, apparently yesterday, he tabled in the House of Assembly an audited report conducted by an international auditing agent or company, Ernst & Young. My spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, has one of the copies in his possession. Bradley, will you please hold up your copy simultaneously with me holding up the other one? So we here at Freedom March, we are in possession of this audited report. And we have asked experts to go through it with us so that we can get a fuller appreciation of what the F&M strategy is all about. Every citizen should get it. This report by Ernst & Young is scandalous. It is nasty. And an examination of it shows that this international agency has descended into the gutter. You hear me? That is what they have done. They have gone outside the terms of their reference. And it is my hope that the leader of the opposition in this country would go after them lawfully. I have some documents. I have here in my possession a letter from the leader of the opposition, which he wrote on the 4th of March 2018 to Mark Winberger. He's the global chairman and chief executive officer of Ernst Young Global, number 6 Moore London Place, London, SE1 2AF, United Kingdom. I have the letter here, but before I introduce this letter that the leader of the opposition wrote, I must first show you one of the reasons that the leader of the opposition would find this thing offensive. Watch what the F&M strategy has been. We have seen that the speaker had introduced a nasty strategy in the House of Assembly when he launched an attack on Philip Brave Davis by raising the name of Mr. Davis' decent wife. You remember that? We also saw where the speaker say how he apparently don't like man who is put powder puff on. Remember that nastiness he was running on? Well, guess what the F&M has done? They have gotten Ernst & Young in their report. They gone and get the obituary of Philip Brave Davis' mother and Ernst & Young. They got Philip Brave Davis' ma picture in this. His mother never had a contract with the Water and Sewerage Corporation, unless, of course, the contract that she would have if, for instance, the water meter at her personal home is in her name. Outside of that, to the best of my knowledge, and based on what I have read in this, she has never asked the Water and Sewerage Corporation for any contract. You heard me? So how his mother get in here? The F&M is nasty. It is now a strategy to demoralize, if possible, by bringing up serious man them wife. And now, I'm going to show it to you. Here is a photograph of Philip Brave's mother. You hear me? And their argument for putting her in this audit report is they were attempting to prove that one woman who went to the funeral is the same woman who worked for Philip Brave Davis. So in order to prove that, they went and they got obituary. You see it here? I've never seen nothing like this in all my life. Can you imagine that they are supposed to be determining whether or not something went wrong? Not only having put Mr. Davis' ma in this, it means that as long as the Bahamas survive as a nation, his mother, the image of her, his mother who died, I think in 2015, whose name, whose body should lay in peace, a mother who lived an honorable life, never got involved in anybody's business, even though her son has been involved in politics. But these no good FNMs, they got Ernest and Young, who claims that they have an international reputation. And they got the man Ma. What else the FNM want to do? What y'all want? Y'all want blood? But there will be no bloodshed in this country. We're just going to mobilize the people to kick y'all rascal out. Many should hang his head in shame to be associated with this kind of scandal. I expected when I saw Philip Brave Davis' mother, I said, oh Lord, what her name in here for? But that is what they've done. You hear me? It's a disgrace. So let's look at a letter that Philip Brave Davis has written to Ernest and Young. Y'all PLPs, y'all better rise up peacefully and go forward and march the FNM out of power, because they are nasty. They're nasty. They are nasty. My God, they're nasty. So the letter, House of Assembly, Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Office of the Leader of Her Majesty's Loyal Opposition. It's dated the 4th of March 2016. And I told you, it was addressed to Mark Weinberger, who's the Global Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Ernest Young Global. Reference requests for peer review of Bahamas Strategic Business Unit Audit Practices. Dear Mr. Weinberger, I write in reference to the engagement of the local office of Ernest Young Strategic Business Units by the government of the Bahamas to conduct forensic audits of public accounts of government ministries and selected public corporations. As you might be aware, I was publicly named in a recent audit conducted by Ernest & Young and accused of wrongdoing, specifically a conflict of interest citation. In my capacity as cabinet minister in the area of contract administration in relation to a government corporation, the Bahamas Power and Light, which was assigned to the portfolio of the Ministry of Works, a ministerial post held by me between 2012 and 2017. I was never notified or allowed the opportunity to respond to this so-called audit finding. This finding or citation proved to be false, and the current Minister of Works admitted to the error and issued an unqualified public apology to me only after the charges were vigorously refuted by me with supporting documentation. On the face of it, there appeared to be a gap in the procedures used during the forensic audit, as a simple phone call or an interview could have diffused the entire redundant matter and the conclusion and embarrassment it caused. This matter is presently before my legal counsel for advice and action if it is determined that it is appropriate in the circumstances. Notwithstanding this error, there are hints, innuendos by the Prime Minister and other ministers of the government that I was again involved in wrongdoing during the same period, 2012 to 2017, resulting from a forensic audit finding conducted by Ernest Young at the government's own Water and Sewage Corporation. In both cases, I was not extended the courtesy of a phone call or an interview in the interest of fairness and balance. So, I do not have to tell you that forensic audits and the published findings can and have had far-reaching implications for individuals, institutions, both public and private, governments, and by extension, society. For this reason, I am respectfully requesting a peer review of the standard auditing and reporting procedures, practices, and processes of your Bahamas-based strategic business unit. It is my view that given the current political divisive environment in which we live, an objective test for quality control, uniformity, consistency, independence, and the elimination of the perception, appearance, or suspicion of any political influence over the highly technical and scientific work of Ernest Young is necessary in the circumstances. I hasten to point out that the work of your organization has consistently met the rigorous international accounting and auditing standards, and I dare say your company's global brand was built on consistently meeting these high standards of professionalism. I respectfully request that you take the appropriate action in a spirit of goodwill to jealously guard Ernest Young's global brand. It is no secret that I have accused the Free National Movement government of a witch hunt against the political organization that I now lead, the opposition Progressive Liberal Party. If, perchance, the Free National Movement government is engaged in a high-profile witch hunt, in this instance, it is necessary that Ernest Young is not seen or perceived to be facilitating such an exercise in any form or fashion. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Yours sincerely, the Honorable Philip Ray Davis, Leader of the Opposition. Copy sent to Michelle Y. Thompson, Ernest & Young, 1 Montague Place, East Bay Street, Nassau, the Bahamas. So, this is a developing story taking place where Ernest & Young, owned by the white people in England, the Negroes here in the Bahamas, appear to have dropped the ball, and the standard has deteriorated so significantly that in an attempt to score brownie points, the average Negro looking at this and seeing the deceased mother of the leader of the opposition would wrongly conclude that she must have been involved in something untoward. What is wrong with the FNM? This could not have happened under Hubert Alexander Ingram, because Mr. Ingram has always maintained that we are never to scandalize people's family, and those family particularly who are not involved in politics. My God, a woman who lived a virtuous life, now deceased, an F&M government, got a whole international accounting agency scandalizing her, putting her picture. What Philip Brave Davis' ma picture doing in this report? She never been a member of the Senate. She's never been a member of the House of Assembly. And to the best of my knowledge, has never served on a government board, to the best of my knowledge. And my God, to scandalize. See this, PLPs? You see how wicked minister are? You better get up and stand up and don't give up the fight. Because we are now fighting for the nation. And there are more things in here. I have to study it. Just got it moments ago. I have to study it because there are some serious allegations that could have been refuted if Ernest and Young didn't conduct this audit as if they were a bunch of prostitutes. It's a national disgrace. And PLPs need to become militant, but peacefully militant. If you are a PLP, you should be contemplating at this very moment organizing a march to Ernest and Young. It's right there, opposite Fort Montague. In fact, Fort Montague would be your launching base to Ernest and Young, which is located at a place named Montague Number 1. It's a national disgrace. My spiritual advisor, look what the country has come down to. First, the speaker, he cursed out the man's wife. Now, the F&M government, through Ernest and Young, put Philip Brave Ma obituary, taken from the Tribune, in this report. And F&Ms feel proud. Y'all better leave serious man them wife and ma alone. Y'all better stop it. Those are the two women that provokes unnecessary confrontation and violence. You don't bother with people ma. Leave the people ma alone. Leave the people woman alone. Leave their wife alone. Leave their children alone. People who are not involved in politics. You don't do that. I told y'all, I know one politician never insulted his wife. She ain't in no politics. He has a sweetheart. I know her sweetheart. I don't bother with his sweetheart. Because in some cases, some men are more angrier if you mess with the sweetheart than if you were to mess with their wife. That's a fact. But the F&M has brought the standard down until somebody start bothering with their wife and then their ma. But I thank God that notwithstanding the temptation that the F&M is causing, Philip Brave Davis has risen above it. And I say to Philip Brave Davis, although they are attempting to scandalize your dearly beloved mother, do not render evil for evil. As they scandalize your mother, you say a prayer, but you don't do nothing to their mother because their mother is innocent. And I'm certain that if their ma knew that they were going to do this to your mother, their ma would tell them, don't do that. And this is what we are paying Ernest and Young for. If I had the strength, I would have tear this up and fling it at the camera. But then I might break Sabat's them brand new camera. And these are some expensive camera in the studio. Zed Ness ain't got this kind of camera. Brendan Jones ain't got this kind of camera. Only CNN, NBC, and ABC got this kind of camera. So there are more things in it, but I got to read it. I'll be reading it, and as I read it, I will espouse. But the one that jumped out the most is when I turn to this page. And I turned to this page, and I saw Philip Brave Davis, the late Dorothy Louise Davis, from Exuma. My ma from Exuma, you know. And I don't want you all to be bothered with Exuma people. I love Exuma people, and particularly Rollville people, because Rollville people have a cry. Harky Christ, kill him dead. Harky Christ, kill him dead. All right?
What does that mean?
I can't give you all the meanings.
All right, so you be careful in saying it on national TV, Mr. Monka.
I'm speaking to Rollville people.
Okay, you don't want to send the wrong message.
I'm not sending the wrong message. Rollville people. Rollville people.
Rollville?
Harky Christ, kill him dead.
That's where my father and mom.
When you
my
found out
father's
what I'm
from.
talking
Yeah, my
about, when you
father's
go
from
home, you
Rollville.
ask him. You say to
Yeah.
him, what you call your daddy?
Daddy.
Daddy? Say daddy. Brother Monka said, Harky Christ, kill him dead.
He would understand that?
He knows that.
Okay.
Okay? Y'all better stop it, man. It's a disgrace. And I call on all decent citizens to condemn what the FNM has paid maybe $1 million for to put Philip Brave Davis Ma. And my God, woman, he had no contract. Woman, he had no contract. Because many of the things that they're trying to put on Philip Brave Davis, the people who they really should accuse is Perry Christie and Papa. All right? That's who they should accuse. And y'all leave Papa alone. Because anything that happened, and if Papa is involved, Papa just overlook it. All right? Bunch of things they won't put on Philip Brave Davis. See, I know you know. It's Papa and Perry. All right? But they won't bother with Papa. They won't bother with Perry Christie. Because Papa ain't come back yet, and Christie is in retirement. But they know that Philip Brave Davis is the real contender to rescuing the Bahamas from these set of sailors who's aboard a ship that is sinking. Minas, the ship is sinking. The question is, what are we going to do? Are we going to jump overboard or stay on and sink? But the FNM has gone to a new low. My God. Gone to a new low. I got it, you know. Right here. A national disgrace. Put the man, Ma. Ma die. That's what they want to do. Come on. Y'all PLP better rise up. Start marching. If y'all ain't know how to march, I'm prepared to teach y'all. I got a case of placard. A whole case of placard. And markers in my office. And I'm ready to march. Ready to march. Spiritual advisor, condemn the FNM, and don't worry about no contracts.
I mean, Mr. Monka, the reality is I think the route that was taken to, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to tie a particular name and that showed up in a contract to the office or to the law firm of Davis and Co. I do believe that they could have gone a different route in order to do that. Them resorting to the obituary, it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's not good at all. Ethically, it's a bit immoral to do that. I think the auditors could have found a different way to get the result that they were looking for. You know, I don't know if it's the right thing that they did. To be honest, I think it's.
Well,
wrong.
I suspect that these auditors are Negroes.
That's what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to tie a certain name.
That's exactly what
that showed up in a contract to the law firm.
These auditors, these ain't white people who do this. Y'all must be Negroes, huh? Big, black, and stupid, huh? Gotta be Negroes. Y'all must be professional.
Why did they go that route, though?
Because they have no principle.
Who would be doing this anyhow? This is Ernst and Young.
Ernst and Young.
I think it's Ernst and Young. I don't know if it's Ernest and Young. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's Ernst.
You look at it. You know I can't pronounce it.
I was trying to look at the name here, but I don't see it. But I believe it's Ernst and Young.
But if it ain't Ernst and Young, it's Ernest and Young. Oh, it's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. But I got it. Y'all son of a gun. In the case of the man wife, now you're going for the juggler. Stop it. called Main Spirit itself. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Roll is here with me. Bradley is my spiritual advisor. Spiritual advisor, welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you, Mr. Monker. Thank you.
We are also broadcasting live on the newest radio station in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, 105.3 FM.
The Beat.
The Beat. And I'm receiving reports from citizens that they are able to hear the radio station loud and clear. But if that changes, please call me, because I expect that if there is a radio signal that should beat all radio signal, that's the BATS radio station. So I'm getting good reports. The people them are telling me how they are hearing it. When I took the adjournment, I produced the Ernest and Young report called a forensic investigation into corruption at the Water and Sewage Corporation. And then I showed you how Ernest and Young, under the political control of the F&M, because that's who paying them, put Philip Brave Davis' mother obituary in the report. And by that act, they have disinterred the bones of his mother. When a man's mother died, listen to me, when I got the word that my mother had passed away, it was like if my world had come to an end. I would never wish for any person's mother to die, and my own was sick. And so, when a man's mother, when a man's womb, his mother's womb is his home, that is the place in which he was conceived and kept for 9 months and safely delivered. And when her day comes that she dies, and he does everything to bury her with honor and respect. Do you know what it is? When a man might die, the tears that he sheds, the world may never know. And then after that, within 3 years of her death, scandalous politician trying to settle political score and wage an emotional warfare, then disinter the bones of a man's mother. It is a national disgrace. And if the Christian Council was not too preoccupied about whether or not married man is raping their wives, they would condemn it. They would condemn it. And so Philip Brave Davis had a right to write Ernest and Young, the Global Office, because them white people in England, they understand the convention. They understand honor and decency. I don't know which Negroes they got here in Nassau in charge. All right? I don't know. Anyway, let me leave that alone so that my pressure will not rise today. Well, folks, yesterday, the Tribune reported that decent Loretta Butler Turner finally emerged, and she was critical of her nemesis, Dr. Minnis. You see, F&Ms are beginning to learn that they made a mistake when they chose Minnis' leadership over Loretta. They're recognizing that Loretta is smarter. Loretta is wiser. Loretta had a mission statement, but they rejected her. But Loretta tried her best to remove Minnis as leader of the F&M, but it didn't happen. She was successful and having him move as leader of Her Majesty's opposition. But she did not pull it off completely. Now we end up with Minnis. And Minnis don't know what he is doing. So I'm going to read a few lines because the country need to know that Loretta is still in the wings. And should the F&M make up their mind, she is ready to triumphantly return. She hasn't told me that, you know. I missed dinner. Supposed to have dinner with her, and I missed dinner. I just love having dinner with her because she brings new meats to the table, meats that I've never seen before, new animals. So I like to have dinner with her. Then she brings new champagne. All I do is say, how much does this strange champagne cost? Right? So I look forward of another poolside. Have you ever had dinner by the pool?
Yes, Mr. Monk, of
I've
course.
never had dinner by the pool
Of
until
course.
Loretta invite me. And her pool, I've never seen that kind of pool. You know, I almost walk in the pool. Husband had just said to me, you going in the pool? I said, this pool looked like glass. I thought I could walk from one end of the pool to the next. And then Loretta has these exotic dogs. And the dogs are smart.
Exotic dogs?
Yeah. I've never seen dogs do the things they do. And they talk to the dog. And then the dog is answer. I don't know what this is. All right? Literally the dog answer. I love when I arrive and they say to the dog, this is Senator Monker. And the dog would say, bow wow. I said, Loretta, he seems to understand. So, let's see what she says. Loretta Butler Turner, who led the coup to oust Dr. Hubert Minnis as opposition leader, pre-general election, told the Tribune Business that desperation to spark greater economic growth may have clouded the government's judgment over the proposed $5.5 billion oil storage terminal refinery project, pointing out that Dr. Minnis had lambasted his predecessor, Perry Christie, for the exact same failings. Mrs. Butler Turner questioned why the government had the gumption to move forward in giving final approvals when the two previous administrations had not. She expressed doubts over whether Oban Energies will be able to raise the necessary financing and queried why the developer had chosen to send Peter Kruger, its non-executive chairman, to sign the heads of agreement when details of his previous legal troubles were easily accessible on the internet. Mrs. Butler Turner called for the government to conduct a thorough review of the East Grand Bahama project before proceeding any further, adding that it seems lack of due diligence and transparency to date made it appear little different from the Christie administration. To be quite honest with you, said Loretta Butler Turner, I am truly disappointed and surprised at the missteps that have taken place over this whole Oban situation. The former Montague MP told Tribune Business, they, the government, really desperate to have foreign direct investment, something of a sizable nature, to offset the lack of growth and economic stagnation in the country. That does not preclude the fact that one has to have due diligence and persons in place. So Loretta Butler, praise the Lord, she's not demoralized. She's still interested in the welfare of the country. And as the spirit mover, and as the issues become compelling, she stepped forward and offered critical support to the nation. It's a wonderful woman. Wonderful wonderful woman. Well, the Bahamas Christian Council, I'm not going to spend too much time on them. They released its proposal for a companion bill to the Sexual Offenses and Domestic Violence Act that seeks to establish another advisory council to set rules for Bahamian marriages, legislate counseling, and effect tax incentives for married couples who live together. So, they want new rules for marriages. I wonder what demon has taken possession of these people. New rules. And then, of course, they want tax exemption. But I'm prepared to accept the tax exemption in return to the church paying tax. I can tell you a secret, you know. Many of these churches launder drug money. There's no management of church, you know. There's none. I look right at them. I said, yeah, what a gangster. You heard what I just tell you? The time has come for the state to tax the church. Churches have gotten away where they have not been able to give an account or have not been demanded an accounting of how they get the money. They'll tell you the Lord give them the money. So the Lord give it to them. And when I look around to see who they're calling the Lord, that's not the Lord. It's money from the devil. So if we're going to talk all of this, and if the church is going to create, if the Christian Council is going to create all of this antagonism, then let's now finally look at whether or not we should tax the church. All right? Because a lot of this money that they have, God don't need the money. God don't need it. But people need it. All right? Let me just, I don't want the church to get me, the Christian Council them to get me angry. Because I sat up all night. My wife rowed with me. When she looked over me, I said, woman, and I tell you when you see me reading these things, don't look over me. She said, what are you doing? I said, I'm looking at a pastor who say he's born again, but he ain't born again. And she begged me to leave the pastor alone. I said, listen, I have to leave. I said, the pastor now saying, I raping you. And if he is going to do that, I have documents on that scoundrel. All right? Let me just leave them alone. They get me so angry. Well, Exuma and Ragged Island MP, the deputy leader of the opposition and the deputy leader of the Progressive Liberal Party, I, Chester Cooper, made a wonderful contribution to the debate on this midterm budget. And he's more smarter than I have given him credit for. He gave a wonderful, wonderful presentation as he called the F&M out and point out how they are grossly incompetent. He point out how the F&M has brought to the table convicted gangsters. You heard me? Don't mind minister them talking about they fighting corruption. They're looking to see if they could lock up a PLP. But the internal corruption of the F&M, ministers ignore it. You hear me? And ministers in this mess because there are powerful people involved and ministers tricking us. Let me tell you what is taking place, eh? I just look at these Negroes and say they think we are stupid. Orban is really a minority player. Heard that? Orban Energies is a minority player. The question is, who is Orban fronting for? You heard me? Orban is a minority player. There are Bahamians involved who are hiding behind Orban. They can't fool me. You hear me? They can't fool me. Who put pressure on ministers and the F&M to deal with certified gangsters? Who has that power? And the names start with M and it end with O. Moscow! You heard me? These white people, all right? They are minority players. The real players, the people who has the string, who got Menace as a yo-yo, who got Peter Turnquest as a yo-yo, is Moscow. You heard me? I just played their game. I'm F&M, and I got good contact. You hear me? Good contact. Them, that lousy Indian man, Donna, what's going on? Donna, what's going on? The real players is Moscow. And there's another one. That's what's going on here. Menace is a yo-yo. Peter Turnquest is a yo-ya. You hear me? That's what's going on. It's one big game. Moscow got Menace string. Remember I told you this. That's what's going on here. Moscow. There's big money and plenty land. And everybody is out to see if they can fool us and then kill the people of Grand Bahama. That's what's going on. Anybody on the phone? Hello?
Moscow.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Mr. Mark, how you doing, sir?
I'm right here.
Spiritual advice, how you doing? Hello.
I'm listening to you, my Negro brother.
Okay, spiritual advisor.
Hey.
I want to talk about the Christian Council for a minute.
Okay.
And Isaiah 56, 10 talks about these, they call them dumb dogs.
Ooh.
And poisons, who's supposed to be leading us and not standing up for us.
We're listening.
Isaiah 56 says.
Isaiah 56.
56.
Talking about the shepherds?
Right. Who's supposed to lead us?
Yeah.
And not speaking out. Because I have a problem, whereas the Christian Council want their, their advice to be held in confidential. You know where you're supposed to do it when you lead the people. God don't hide from us.
Yes.
Put everything right there in front of us.
Right.
I don't know why these fellas them want to. First of all, we got to call these fellas out, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even go to that church if I found I wouldn't even attend their church. Because if I'm professed to be a Christian, I would stand up and say if to a man, I can say that I don't care what happened to me. That's not right.
Well, we are march against them. I'm marching against the Christian Council.
Yes, they need to march
and
against
I'm
them.
marching against Carl.
They come out for and stand up against gambling.
And when I march against them,
marital rape and what else going on in the country. Like we say, we have murders every day.
Yeah.
We trying to put people in jail for killing the title. Man, if I hungry, I'll kill 10 of them.
I would not.
Yeah, you have a point.
But we need these Christian council leaders to stand up and hold a press conference and say your views to the entire country on what you talk about my rape. You know, when you would come, police coming to me, you locking me up for raping my wife.
Yeah.
When I want that, that's mine. When she want me, that's hers.
Well, listen, I've been talking to Ruby Ann Dolan this morning. I said, Mother Ruby Ann Dolan, you're the only Christian woman I know who is not following that lead. You're interested in building family. We have to get together.
Hey, caller.
Yes.
Caller, what I find to be interesting, if the Christian Council wants to be fair, they should hold a town meeting, right, and invite the public to attend. And then the public should hold the Christian Council feet to the fire by asking them. Oh, that person is gone.
Keep talking.
Yeah, by asking them to explain 1 Corinthians chapter 7. You see, I think that would be very interesting to hear what the Christian Council has to say about 1 Corinthians chapter 7.
Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Hello.
Yes. I can hear you.
Mark,
yes, sir.
Yes, I want to say, good evening to you on the spiritual.
Good afternoon.
Man, look here, I called you the other day. After listening to this report, Adrian Gibson he really let me down. I mean, they really went to an extra low to put that man, dead mother, on a picture.
Yeah.
To put a picture of man in this report. Man, that's man, you can't get no lower than that.
Yeah, it is uncalled for. Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's uncalled for.
what this is for? Just for ego?
I don't
Man,
know
you
what
can't-
this is.
you can't
They were
be
trying to
that
prove a
man.
point, actually. They were trying to prove a point, but I think they went about it
I'm
the wrong
hearing
way.
that Adrian Gibson is now saying he is innocent and that he would never do this. All right?
You know what I want them to do for us? I want them to do for the Bahamian people?
Yeah.
To let us know how much money did they spend on this on these things that they're doing, man. Just millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Ernest, Ernest and Young?
Ernest is no good, and I wouldn't talk about Young.
Well, anyway, it's hard to think of these JA. I can't call it with it. There's a bunch of JAs, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mr. Monk. I can't work for you all, man. No more.
Listen, I can't work for us no
you all
more.
after now, man.
I'm having difficulty. Anybody else on the phone? Hello? There it is. The
Good
obituary.
afternoon, spiritual advisor.
Hello. Good
Good
afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Mr. Munker.
Good afternoon,
and
my
good
dear.
afternoon, spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Mr. Munker,
Yes.
people of our color, you think we'll ever learn?
We're not learning. Some of us are too black and stupid.
I serious. And
Yeah.
Mr. Davis, to him I say, when sick and ill made me cry, oh my mother. That's all you have to worry about.
Wow.
He got them right where he want them. Just put on his long toe shoes and dance all over them. And in the era of me and you, the time the church take to be all about with that marriage and
Rape.
divorce and things, they need to go and study back in their history, because in the time back in the days, me and you will really notice when the pastors them used to keep the drugs in the church.
Oh, yeah.
And that's real. I
Yeah.
know that for a fact.
Oh, yeah.
And
I saw
our
called
people,
one
we
name.
really need to learn. We don't look like we can never learn anything.
Yeah.
They got us right where they want us, but
Yeah.
God ain't gonna let us stay there.
No.
The black ones always come out on top.
Black crab syndrome.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And I'm praying for Mr. Davis, because he'll always shine.
Amen.
And have a nice evening.
I thank
You do
you
the same,
very
Okay.
much.
Okay.
As we look at this obituary, listen to what it says. Philip Brave Davis' mother. Funeral service for the late Dorothy Louise Davis, 85 years, of Palmetto Village, Marathon Estate, and formerly of Alexander Exuma, will be held on Friday, March 20th, 2015, at 10 a.m. at Zion Baptist Church, East and Shirley Street, downtown. Reverend T.G. Morrison, assisted by Reverend Anthony Sampson, and other associate ministers, deacons, evangelists will officiate. Interment will follow in Lakeview Memorial Gardens and Mausoleum, John F. Kennedy Drive and Gladstone Road. Memories of our life and legacy will forever be cherished by, and they put it in yellow, children, the Honorable Philip Brave Davis, Anne Marie Davis, Alvin Davis, Diane Davis, Dawn and Geraldine Davis, Craig Davis, Trevor and Dr. Tanya Davis, Gigi Davis, grandchildren, Nico and Shakira Davis, Felice and Kyle Albury, Yolanda and Alvin Bullard, Patasha Johnson, Dr. Philippa Davis, Philip Jr., Fillmore, Garnet Jr., Christopher Mervyn Jr., Shakira, Orville Davis. Is this really necessary? Because when Philip Brave Davis would have opened this for the first time and got the shock of his life that his mother, whom he buried 3 years ago, practically this month, and he opened this up, this must have been ghoulish. It must have been spookish. My God! I buried my mother and I opened up Ernest & Young report into the Water and Sewerage Corporation and my mother obituary jumps in my face. You're wicked. You'll go to hell. You're wicked. Somebody must apologize for this. It's time to march. The FNM is wicked. They are possessed by the devil. They just ain't saying.
Do you have something to say to the senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV. Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. My spiritual advisor, praise the Lord, Bradley Rule, is with me. Bradley, welcome back to Freedom
Yes,
March.
thank you, Mr. Monker. I wish you had read more into that report you're going to read on the suggestions the Christian Council was going to implement. I thought
I could
some
go into it.
Yeah,
but
some of them seem to be kind of positive because it seems as if they want to go down the road of trying to save marriages and get people to understand the commitment in marriage, what both parties are responsible for. But the hypocrisy in it, though, is that while trying to save marriage, they're looking at introducing legislation as far as talking to the government that would send a married man to jail for life. It's like almost like a double standard, you know.
Yeah,
when you read into it, you know.
It's really the works of the devil.
But there are some positive things in that report. I looked at it and I saw it and I was like, wow.
What did you see that was positive? My spiritual advisor?
They're thinking about, and I think this is something that's normal. They're looking at trying to strengthen the counseling that you go through prior to marriage, right? Go into particular counsel, counselors who would then instruct you, inform you.
You know what is silly about that?
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't want to say it. That's why I dropped it down.
But getting people prepared for marriage, it's a good thing, though.
Silly about that.
Okay.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
A person does not have to have their marriage done in a church.
Yes, I agree with that.
You can go to the Registrar General's office because marriage is also a civil matter.
Yeah.
Right?
Law.
Now, what is the Registrar General going to tell me when I show up to get married? That I need counseling?
He won't be the counselor. All right?
You heard what I just asked you?
He'll just be performing the ceremony.
Right. Is he going to tell me I need counseling?
I don't know if he's going to do that. You would have gotten that before you got to that point. I think that's what they're trying to do.
No, you're not listening to me.
Go ahead. Let me hear you.
In the church, I'm a member of the Roman Catholic Church.
The RCC, yes.
If you went to the Roman Catholic Church for them to perform your wedding, they will tell you that one of the conditions is that you have to attend certain
marriage classes.
Yes. Okay?
Okay.
That is church sanctioned.
Who conducts the marriage classes?
I don't know who conducts it, but for the purpose of the church, a church official conducts it.
Right.
You got the principle? But if a man decides he's not getting married in a church,
building or setting,
why are you not?
Because
listening?
I don't want you to think.
Let's don't get into that.
We have to get into that. I don't want the public to think that I think the church is a building. No, go ahead. What's wrong with you, man? Be patient.
I'm not being. I want you to understand something.
See.
If you decide, whatever you are, so you want to call it a building?
Yes, a church building. Just say church building.
Listen to me. I don't want to publicly attack the church.
You're not attacking the church.
Listen to me. And disparaging it. Because I'm a man with a lot of information.
Get ahead. Go ahead with your point.
How much information
No. Let's stick to the point.
Let me tell you how much information. See, you're going to force me to run on. I don't want to do that.
Let's stick to the point of that. What's your point? Yes, go ahead. I listen to you.
Then decided that you didn't want a member of the church, a pastor.
A church setting, yes.
Right? For whatever reason, you can go to the Registrar General. Now, the Registrar General is going to tell the citizen before he performs the wedding, he has to go and do counseling.
I assume that the Christian Council would come up with some sort of a booklet that they could hand to people who perform, and you can read it and say...
That is for people who go to marry in a church.
I don't know why you're trying to dodge the fact that marriage counseling, regardless of who gives it, is spot on.
I'm not saying
And then
it
you're saying
isn't. I'm
you're saying that what
I'm
does
saying,
what does he tell
I
that
have
person?
a friend, right, who don't believe in Jesus. Do you understand what I just said?
Uh-huh.
So, do you expect him to go to church to get married?
No.
Therefore, when he goes to the registrar general, the Christian Council booklet
It's out the window.
will not be applicable to
Okay.
him.
Okay. So what does the clerk tell him?
The clerk, once he produces his marriage license, the registrar performs the wedding.
Right. So what's your argument?
My argument is what he is advocating in the Roman Catholic Church, it already exists.
I understand that.
Right.
But they're looking at
Now-
ways to straighten that.
Yes, but all he needs to do is to do it in his church, and then
Yeah.
I'll send him the name of a pastor who keeps me that.
Mr. Monker.
So he could tell the pastor that he should go
Let
and
me-
mind his outside children.
let me tell you the problem I have with you, right? There are things that are fundamentally wrong with the Christian Council, right? And I've been advocating for years that I personally don't feel that the Christian Council is the true representation of God. I don't believe that. I don't believe that these men truly represent God's interests. Had they represented God's interests, they would be united on everything that the Bible teaches the Christian ought to believe and live by. But for the sake of this argument, I believe there's something positive in those letters that you
Okay.
have, where the Christian Council is saying, listen, we need to move around along the lines where we want to strengthen marriage. We want to prepare people
Let's
who
look at-
who
since
think
you
about
want to look
who,
at
who
what
want to get
they
married,
say.
what their commitments are, the things they should know about marriage, and before they go ahead and get married, which I think is good, so that people really
Yes, but
understand
I'm
what the
saying
commitment
that
is.
would only be applicable to members of their church.
Okay.
And I give you an example where in the Roman Catholic Church, if they decide that they're going to marry you, then they invite you to do classes as one of the conditions.
Why don't you read that?
It is only Delton Fernando them who apparently don't do that. But the Roman Catholic Church has been doing it for the last 2,000
I don't know if you could
years.
say that. I don't know if you could say that he doesn't do it. You know, but read it. I thought it was just interesting. That's all. That was just my point. That there are things that you
I'm
could
trying
use
to
out
say,
of it.
you got to understand, as a Supreme Court course legislature, I came across something scandalous about one church, right? And I have to think and say, now, is it fair to go bring that document and put it on TV? Because everybody think the man is saved, everybody think the man is sanctified, the man acts saved, he speaks in tongue, but an examination of the Supreme Court file would show that he's the devil. And I decided, let's don't do that. I don't want them to cause me to do bad things. Because I like to see the man publicly playing safe.
Okay.
Right? But he's the devil. All right? He's the devil.
Okay.
Now let's see what the Christian Council.
I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know what I mean?
Man, anyway. Then I
Go to-
see, when I look and I see my grandnephew, I don't want to cuss him out. All right? Let's see what they want.
Yeah,
boy.
look at it. Starting someplace
The
in there.
proposed Marriage and Family Advisory Council would be chaired by a representative chosen from the BCC and advise the Minister of Social Services according to the bill, which explains the council objectives will include a review and implementation of national public education on marriage and family life and the creation of a guide for marriage preparation that will be used by marriage officers to determine the eligibility of engaged couples. Now, you see what they're doing now?
Explain that.
Your daughter get bigger.
No. It says engaged couples.
Why this man?
Are you give me an example? Go ahead.
Let's leave this alone, man. Let's leave this
I'm
alone.
trying to figure out why you want to go
You
into the
not-
pregnancy when they're talking about engaged couples. Now,
Bradley,
how do we move
Bradley,
engaged couples
Bradley,
from
Bradley.
engagement to marriage?
They want a council appointed where a member of the Christian council will advise, right? The minister on
Of
the
social services.
right? That can't work. To start off with, the minister of social service is one of the women them. She don't believe a man could rape his wife. You see the contradiction?
So this This minister of
We
social
start off
services
with.
is going to be minister of social services
That's
forever.
who's the minister of social service.
But they're going to be that person forever.
I don't know what is going to happen under there for them.
Right. So you
Right?
just
So I'm trying to show you a contradiction. The minister responsible for social service is a decent Christian woman who does not believe that a married man can commit rape upon his wife.
And that's fine.
So that's the first conflict.
But that's fine.
Secondly, the Christian Council wants to advise the government as to who is eligible to be married. So when they now say that John Doe and Mary are not eligible for marriage, it means that they will fornicate
So let me ask.
and have children outside of wedlock.
Right. So let me ask you a question. What yardstick you think they're going to be using to
I
determine?
don't know. Taking into consideration that these are the same people who thinks that married men should go to jail for life. Carl Bettel, who's not saved. Carl Bettel, who's not sanctified. Carl Bettel, who's committed one of the most fundamental sins, right? Is saying 10 years.
Yeah.
Their problem is they're dealing with an attorney general who they do not know. I don't want to get into that, man. These things are too personal.
But
I know Carl Bettel for a long time.
But if they,
and I don't want to say something.
But if they do use the Bible as a standard to guide these engaged couples into holy matrimony, I think it could work.
Yes, that is if the person is a Christian, eh?
Yeah.
Are they saying?
Non-Christians have some strong marriages as well, you know. There are some people who are
Why
not
are you
Christian.
missing the point, man?
Okay,
Or is
go
it me
ahead.
who missing the point?
I don't know. It's probably you.
Help me out. I can keep.
No,
it
go
on.
ahead. Go ahead.
You help me out.
Go ahead, man. Let me listen to you. Because as a matter of fact, let's move on to something else. But
Bradley,
that was just my
The
point.
Christian Council want an advisory committee that will consult with the Minister of Social Service as to the eligibility of a person who wants to get married. That's silly. The law has already told us who can't get married. Minors can't get married. Right? If
That's
an
not their
18-year-old...
That's not their argument, though.
Anyway.
This is all
let me
based.
read it to you. Oh, boy.
This is all
Forget about
based
that.
on counseling,
Why?
right? And how you're going to move from engagement to marriage.
If I want to get married, are you telling me that the state, and I don't belong to a Christian denomination, are you telling me the state will say that I have to go to Delton Fernanda to counsel me?
I don't think the state will do that.
What will the state say?
I think the state will say that you have to make sure you go through the proper marriage counseling prior to getting married. I don't know if they want to put that in law, but if they do, I can't see that.
What
doing any harm.
happens if the girl is pregnant?
What happens if she's pregnant?
Yeah.
What
And we
happens-
step
what
forward
happens-
to get...
what happens
Listen
if
to
she's
my
pregnant?
say. Listen to me. The girl is pregnant. We step forward to the Registrar General to get married because I'm trying to marry her before the baby born, so the baby would not be a bastard.
Oh.
Now, what are they going to tell me? I need counseling?
Now you see the road you're going down on now, eh? That's interesting. I don't like that mindset, Mr. Monka.
Bradley,
So you're saying that the girl gets
somebody
pregnant and she gets married to cover up the pregnancy. The sin is already
no,
committed.
we're not talking about covering up.
You
no
say so the
preg-
child is going to become a bastard.
We are Bradley, marriage, you know why the government got involved in marriage? It has to do with wealth. It has to do with ensuring who the rightful heirs are. It has to do, if the man and the woman broke up, you need law to make sure that the father is going to provide maintenance, housing, education, and so forth. Right? Is Delton Fernandez suggesting that before a citizen could get married, he must be counseled? What if he is not a member of a church? Because he's saying that the Bahamas Christian Council must have some representative. So if I'm not a member of the church, the government can force me to go to one church to be counseled?
There's going to be some standard form of counseling, I assume.
Anyway, let them do what they want to do. I didn't marry.
But I can't see anything wrong with being counseling, though. Being counseled before marriage, if you're Christian or non-Christian.
Yes, there's nothing
There's nothing wrong
wrong
with it.
with being counseled. If you wanted to get married in the Roman Catholic Church, a condition that they will set. Now, if you don't accept it, go someplace else. That's all I'm saying. But when it comes to the Registrar General's Department. If I am not a member of a Christian denomination and I decide I want the Registrar General to perform the wedding, they can tell me I must go for counseling. Who they can send me to?
I think the end game here is to make sure that we try to strengthen marriage and we look at decreasing the divorce
first
rate.
thing that Delton got to do is to get the pastors who keep it sweet. Hold on.
You can't see
Hold on.
beyond them because you have
The
a
first thing
you have
he
a
has to
dislike.
do is to get the pastor who is unfaithful to his wife. Deal with that. I faithful to mine. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello.
Hello, Senator Monka.
Sir. Sir.
This is JP calling from Orlando. I'm the student in Orlando.
Hey, JP. Welcome to Freedom March.
Yes. I'm a first-time caller. I watch you from overseas. You're a good guy. You and SA.
Well, thank
Hey,
you.
good afternoon. How you doing?
And you are in the
doing
state
all
of
right.
Florida.
Yeah.
Hello.
Senator Monka, I'm waiting on 2022. Who should I vote for?
I'm going to make a prediction. You
Okay.
might spell vote PLP because this group is the worst we have seen in the history of modern politics.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, take it from me. They bought a whole gangster from America, a big fat white man. When you examine American law, he's a fraudster. And in the presence of the prime minister, the white man signed somebody else's name. And the government pretended like they didn't see it. You heard me? This group
I
of
heard you,
Negroes,
Senator.
we are in trouble. You hear
As
me?
one of the young people in Senator, sac passe?
Na
boule.
boule.
Sac passe?
Na boule. Map gen an pil moun rete pou pale ak mwen. So, di messenger vile, rele mwen. Okay?
Oh, okay. Now
good.
repeat that. All right,
Okay.
that's it.
You're a good man. My people. The Haitian people. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you all today?
Doing great. Doing great. How about yourself?
Okay, Special Advisor, Mr. Monco.
Yes.
Hey.
I'm listening to you all today, and this thing with this marital rape and all this, it's just getting more muddy with each passing day.
Yes.
I don't know, first of all, who has given the Christian Council or the government the authority to feel that they should interfere in people's marriage and their bedroom business.
Yeah.
Now, this foolishness with having somebody to determine whether or not a couple is suitable for marriage, that's hogwash.
That's no,
Okay? It's a bunch of foolishness. What the government needs to do is to govern the country. That's
Yeah.
what they were elected to do. The Christian Council need to go, first of all, examine themselves, get their lives in order,
Yeah.
deal with their spiritual flock,
Yeah.
leave people's bedroom business where it belongs, between husband and wife.
Yeah.
They're out of order. Okay?
Yep.
Now, I just want to send a quick shout-out to Yolanda Adderley Fernando, who celebrated a birthday 2 days ago.
Okay.
From St. Agnes Church. She's one of the women there.
Oh, praise the Lord.
And then in Grand Bahama, you have a couple, Willa Mae and Ricardo Smith. They listen to you religiously every day.
Wow.
They're one of the couples there.
This is
and
powerful.
Willa Mae's mommy, Miss Alice, she's a woman almost 80 years old, and she's one of the women there.
Oh,
and they
hallelujah.
all follow you.
Listen, folks.
Okay,
we-
God bless you all, and God save the Queen.
All right.
God
take
save the
care.
Queen.
Okay,
Listen,
bye-bye.
folks, we salute every one of you that the woman identified. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Mr. Monka,
Yes, sir.
how you doing, sir?
Listen, I'm upset.
I'm upset too, man. Spiritual advisor.
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing?
Good afternoon. I basically want to talk to you. These gentlemen who want to say that they are Christian and Christian Council, right? The Bible gives you the guideline for how marriage is supposed to run.
I agree.
You don't need to run no books. You don't need to do whatever. All you have to do is stand up for what is right. We need to stand up for righteousness.
That's all.
We don't need man opinion. We need opinion from God.
God.
Don't give me man opinion.
No.
When God tell Moses to speak to the rock, Moses knocked the rock. And
This
what
is
happened to
true.
him? He never saw the promised land.
Right,
Never
Because
saw the
he didn't
promised
do
land.
what God needed to do. Spiritual advisor, I'm distressed to talk to you. We need to let these men know. See, the Bible tells you that we are not to be scared of their faces, you know. Because what only thing was going to be, only thing was
Yes.
that for Christ will last.
Amen.
These men are not representing Christ. When they have to go in a corner and not want their advice to be publicly, let's have a public forum.
Yes.
I agree.
Why we get spiritual
agree.
advice? If you come to me with something and it's not of course, I telling you in your face.
Amen.
Yeah, I agree.
I telling you behind your back. We don't need to run
Listen, I
from
gotta
them
let you
because
go
they're
because the
men,
line
just
full.
Yeah,
and
one-on-one.
they are not-
I agree.
And they are not doing what they're supposed to do.
Okay,
The Bible-
your point is well taken. I got plenty of people on the line. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Rodney Monka,
So,
wishing you and Spiritual Advisor all the best, man. You guys continue to do a good job.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Listen, Spiritual Advisor,
Hey.
I just want to know your efforts in getting the Christian Council on the show. This is powerful, and there's no doubt we need them on the show.
I think so too.
Why? Because they must be held accountable for what they say. It's a disingenuous thing that they're doing in making, statements out of whack. As a Christian man, and I'm sure you guys are believers, is crazy what they're saying. There's no way, and I must agree with Senator Monka, that I believe that they should be taxed.
Yeah,
as long
I
as you have a
taxing them
council,
because I always
they should
knew
be ta-
that
they-
some of them
they're
were
making
money
decisions.
laundering, but I used to keep quiet because I wasn't sure if who they was doing it for, if it was
I
for
agree,
God
Senator,
or
but
the
making
devil.
these kind of statements
Yeah,
and making it's almost a dictatorship.
yeah.
type
Listen, I got
of
plenty of
style
people on the line.
It's
Your
almost
point
like
is
they
well
run the
taken.
government, Senator.
Yes, sir. Get ready to
And
march.
they must be taxed.
We will tax them. Take it care.
Yes, please, man.
Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Hey, Mr. Monka, what's up?
Listen, I'm so upset.
Man, Mr. Monka, you arguing about the Christian Council and this marriage thing. Andres is on fire.
Man,
We don't
talk-
have a fire truck to out the fire.
How you mean
Fire
Andres is
don't
on
hit
fire?
around people's houses and them.
What part?
And not one fire truck. We spent
What part?
millions
What part?
and millions of dollars.
What part?
All we have is fire around the place in Andres.
Well, we gotta out the fire.
But, Mr. Monka, we don't have no fire truck. We don't have one fire truck.
Who's your MP?
Boleg, you're a
Well,
Boleg.
fax him!
Mr. Monka.
Fox Boleg.
But, Mr. Monka,
Yeah.
you're talking about the Christian Council. The Christian Council in Nassau cannot speak for the Christian Council. Them on the family island.
Wow.
So how that's going to work?
I say it's the
How come
works of the
fellas
devil.
In Nassau, what get their own little group in Nassau to speak for all the rest of family islands and talk about it and they agree on march and so forth. When are they going to come to the Christian Council, the East Family Island, and ask them their advice?
Listen, that's powerful. You take
Huh?
it care. Your point is well taken. My line full. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monka.
Good afternoon, my love.
I am a first-time caller, and I
Welcome.
am one of the women them.
Lord, I thank you that thousands of women around the country is
Yes.
accepting my leadership.
Yes.
Talk to me.
I'm calling about the discussion you and the spiritual advisor are having. Good afternoon, spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
I am well, thank you. Just a small point. My
Yes.
husband and I, we are believers, and we're practicing Anglican.
Okay.
But what I am wondering, I hear you, spiritual advisor, but let us say that my husband and I were just engaged and we're going to marry, and they were to send us before whomever the Christian Council recommends. I can say whatever I think they want to hear.
Okay.
Only God knows our heart. And perhaps if the members of the Christian Council would, they and their flock go out of the four walls,
Amen.
we would have far less people not belonging to churches and not living the way the Bible calls us to live.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and I agree. It's all about the Bible.
Yes,
I
I
agree.
understand your point, but I think there are so many other dimensions to be considered.
Yes.
So I agree with the previous callers and yourself, spiritual advisor. The Christian Council needs to disclose their feelings to the general public.
Or they ain't safe.
Yeah.
It you know what it brings to mind? I relate it to the government being the mother. The Christian Council is one of my siblings.
Yes.
And I go to my mother and I said, my brother did that. And instead of her calling us together and saying, tell me your side, then you tell me your side,
Yes.
then make a decision.
Yes.
I mean, come on, how are we supposed to resolve issues?
Wow.
We're not supposed to listen to gossipers, right?
No.
Okay, we always heard people say there are three sides to a story.
Yes.
There's my side, your side, and the truth.
Amen.
So how do we resolve this particular social ill if all parties
Your
are
point
not transparent?
is well taken, my love. I got 2 more people and I got 2 more seconds before the show over.
2 minutes.
Take good care. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Talk
Good
quickly.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, my love.
This is one of the women's them.
Lord, I thank you that the women them are following my lead. Speak to me
Mr.
quickly.
Monica, the
Yes.
Christian Council sound like they're devil council.
Oh, praise the Lord.
They have nothing to do with husband and wife. When you become married, you become as one flesh.
Amen.
And you cannot rape your flesh.
No.
They need to stay out of people's private business and get their business sorted out. And the time they take dealing with that, they need to go deal with all the murders and the killing we have in this country and deal with that. Have a good evening.
I thank you. Do I have another caller? Well,
Yes,
my
sir.
spiritual advisor, the Christian Council, we are scrutinizing you. You can decide who is qualified. And the guy got my daughter big up. And I needed to get married before she bring a
Yeah, but it's too
bachelor.
late then. It's too late then.
No, it is
That's
not
the
too
problem.
late.
All right, she would have committed
We're
fornication
not
prior to getting
discussing
married.
what she has committed.
Is
We are
there?
discussing for the purpose
You don't get
of the
married to
law
cover up sin.
and decency.
You don't get married
Anyway,
to cover up
you
sin.
have it confused.
All right?
You go with the Christian Council. All y'all on your way to
Jesus.
hell.
How do you get married to cover up sin? The sin's already committed.
You're not covering up sins.
You want to get married because you're pregnant.
Yeah. Anybody pick up my daughter.
You should get married before you get pregnant.
Yes, but if they got pregnant, you gotta get married. Listen, take good care. Tomorrow, I'm gonna return to Chester Cooper's speech, and I'm gonna give you an analysis of what Minnis and Obandos have done. Nothing else. Before I gave the Chester speech and my analysis.
Good night, everybody.
Goodbye.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.